Semester 2, Quarter 3, Sheet A, number 16. It says to factor 2x squared plus 11x plus 12. The name is factor quadratic trinomial. The description, find factor pairs of constant, find factor pairs of square term, use sign rules and trial and error method, then use outer, inner to check. Okay, so we need to go through some things before we can actually get down to the problem. Go ahead and have the name and description written down, and I'm going to have to make it go off so that I can give you the sign rules. And we'll probably want to write that on the back of the paper. Okay, so here are the sign rules. Okay, based on this second sign, if it's positive, signs will be the same. If it is negative, signs will be different. Okay, that's the first thing that you need to look for, is that second sign. If it's a plus, the signs will be the same. If it's minus, the signs will be different. Okay, now you got to go, the next part is conditional upon the first part. So I'm going to have to say this. If the second is positive, okay, just like it is right here, then you look at the first. If the second sign's positive, then you look at the first. If that's positive, they are both plus. And if it is negative, they are both minus.
But what if the second is negative? You look at the first still?
So if the second sign is plus, then look at the first. If it's plus, they're both plus. If it's minus, they're both minus. Okay, the tricky part comes in if the second is minus. Then, yes, you have to look at the first. And we already said the signs are different. Whatever the first is, the outer, inner must be that sign. So if the second sign is minus, yes, you got to look at the first sign. When you do your outer, inner, you want it to result in that sign. Okay, so as we go through this, I'll give you some hints and things that you will use to get this. But at this time, you need to make sure you have this written down somewhere. All right, 2x squared plus 11x plus 12. So the first thing that it says is find factor pairs of the constant term. That means the 12. The factor pairs, you would put 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Okay, so that's the only possibilities you can use. I can tell you more often than not, it's the one where the numbers are closest together. And then the second thing is it says find factor pairs of the first term or the square term. Well, the good thing about a 2 is it's prime. And the only choices here would be 2x and x. If the 2 becomes is something that's not prime, you'll have more choices, and then the problem, of course, becomes a little more complicated. To factor a trinomial, you start off with 2 sets of parentheses. The good news is you start with this beginning. There's only one possibility, so for each first term, you put 2x and x. There's no other choice. That's the great news. because there's only 2x and x that can multiply together to get you 2x squared. Nothing else multiplied together would get you 2x squared. Okay, look at the second sign. It's a plus. That means the signs in my parentheses are the same. Then you look at this first sign. They will both be plus.
Wait, so
Now you look and you got to fill in something for the second spots. So I'm going to start with 3 and 4. This is where you test your outer inner. Outer, 2x times 4 is 8x. Inner, 3 times x is 3x. If I combine that together, it's 11x. So that means I am done. The final answer is 2x plus 3 times x plus 4.